Your gut feeling isn't just emotion, it's quantum data processing happening faster than thought. Right now, you're receiving signals from the field, and most people dismiss them as random hunches. But what if I told you that intuition is your nervous system detecting quantum information before your conscious mind can catch up? The off feeling you get about certain choices, the sudden knowing that arrives without logic, that's not magical. It's your biology interfacing with the quantum field. In this video, you'll discover 4 ways to develop your quantum intuition, and the fourth one connects directly to accessing the field itself for manifestation. If you've been sensing things before they happen or feeling drawn toward unexplainable paths, you're about to understand why. So let's talk about something that's been dismissed as woo-woo for way too long: intuition. That inexplicable knowing, that gut feeling that steers you left when logic says go right. That whisper in your chest that warns you before anything visibly goes wrong. We've been taught to override it, to trust only what we can see, measure, and prove. But here's what's wild: quantum physics is now giving us language for what mystics have known forever. Intuition isn't some mystical fluke. It's your nervous system picking up quantum information from the field before your thinking brain has a chance to process it. In the world of manifestation, we believe intuition is your direct line to the quantum field. It's how you receive guidance, how you sense alignment, how you know which version of reality you're moving toward. And the best part? You can develop it, you can sharpen it. You can turn that faint whisper into a clear, undeniable signal. Today, we're covering 4 powerful methods to activate and strengthen your quantum intuition. The first 3 will change how you navigate daily life. But the fourth, that one ties directly into accessing the quantum field for manifestation, and I'll connect it to something I shared in another video that takes this even deeper. Let's start here. What even is intuition from a quantum perspective? Traditional science treated intuition like a lucky guess, a subconscious pattern recognition at best. But recent research from institutions exploring consciousness suggests something far more interesting. Intuition might be your body detecting quantum level fluctuations in the field, tiny shifts in energy, probability, and information that haven't materialized into physical form yet. In manifestation terms, we say you're sensing the field before it collapses into experience. Your heart, for instance, has been shown by the HeartMath Institute to respond to future stimuli before they occur. They ran experiments where participants were shown random images, some calm, some emotionally intense, and the heart rate would shift several seconds before the image appeared on the screen. Not after, before. That's not prediction, that's quantum sensitivity. Your biology is wired to interface with information that exists in probability, not just in matter, and that's intuition. It's your system picking up signals from the quantum field and translating them into sensations, tightness in your chest, butterflies in your stomach, a sudden sense of clarity or dread. Now, if that's true, and intuition is quantum data reception, then the question becomes, how do we tune the receiver? How do we make the signal clearer? Because most of us are walking around with so much mental noise, emotional static, and nervous system dysregulation that the intuitive signal gets drowned out. We second guess, we override. We rationalize ourselves out of knowing, so let's fix that. The first way to develop quantum intuition is through what I call nervous system coherence. This is about calming the static. Think of your body as a radio. If the signal is scrambled, you're not going to hear the broadcast clearly. Intuition works the same way. When your nervous system is dysregulated, stuck in fight or flight, running on stress hormones, bouncing between anxiety and exhaustion, you're not in a receptive state. The quantum information is still there, but you can't perceive it. Coherence is when your heart, brain, and nervous system are synchronized. It's a measurable state. HeartMath has documented it extensively. When you're in coherence, your heart rhythm becomes smooth and ordered, your brain waves sync up, your body shifts out of survival mode and into a state of openness and receptivity. And in that state, intuition flows, you feel things before they happen, you sense the right choice without needing to analyze it to death, you just know. So, how do you build coherence? It starts with breath. I know, everyone talks about breathing, but this isn't just about relaxation. This is about creating a physiological environment where quantum information can be received. Try this. Sit down, close your eyes, place one hand on your heart, breathe in slowly for a count of 5. Hold for a count of 5. Exhale for a count of 5. As you breathe, imagine the breath moving in and out of your heart center, not your lungs, your heart. This isn't anatomically literal, but energetically it works. Focus your attention there. As you do this, bring up a feeling of gratitude. Not fake, real. Think of someone you love, a moment you're thankful for, a memory that softens you. Let that feeling expand in your chest as you breathe. Do this for 5 minutes. What you're doing is shifting your system into coherence. You're telling your body we are safe, we are open, we are ready to receive. And in that state, intuition becomes accessible. You'll start noticing things. A sense of clarity about a decision you've been avoiding. A feeling about a person that suddenly makes sense. A direction that feels right even though you can't explain why. This isn't magic, this is quantum biology. You're tuning your receiver, and when the receiver is clear, the signal comes through. Practice this daily, make it a non-negotiable. Because if you want to live intuitively, if you want to be guided by the field instead of just reacting to circumstances, coherence is your foundation. Now, the second way to develop quantum intuition is by tracking your body's subtle signals. Most people live entirely in their heads. They think their way through life. They analyze, strategize, and rationalize. And look, thinking is useful, but it's not the only intelligence you have. Your body is constantly communicating with you, sending you information from the quantum field in the form of sensation, tightness, expansion, warmth, contraction, a flutter, a sinking feeling. These aren't random, they're data. In manifestation, we talk about the body as the subconscious mind. It holds your beliefs, your patterns, your unprocessed emotions, but it's also your antenna. It picks up on energetic frequencies, quantum shifts, and alignment signals that your conscious mind hasn't registered yet. The problem is, most of us ignore it. We override the discomfort. We push through the resistance. We silence the signal because it's inconvenient or doesn't fit the plan. But here's the thing, your body doesn't lie. If something feels off, it is off, maybe not in a way you can articulate yet, but on some level, your system is detecting a misalignment. If something feels expansive, light, open, that's alignment, that's resonance. That's your body saying, yes, this frequency matches where we're headed. So start paying attention. When you're about to make a decision, pause, drop into your body. How does this choice feel? Not what do you think about it, how does it feel? Does your chest tighten or open? Does your stomach relax or clench? Does your breath deepen or shallow out? These are intuitive signals. They're your system interfacing with the quantum field and giving you feedback in real time. Let me give you an example. You're considering a job opportunity. On paper, it looks great. Good pay, good title, good benefits. But when you imagine yourself in that role, something feels heavy. You can't explain it. Logically, it makes sense, but your body is giving you a different message. That's intuition. That's your system detecting a frequency mismatch. Maybe the environment isn't aligned with your values. Maybe the role would pull you away from your true path. Maybe the energy of the people there doesn't resonate. You don't need to know why. You just need to trust the signal. Now, I'm not saying ignore logic. I'm saying integrate it with intuition. Let your mind gather the facts. Let your body sense the field. And when both align, you move. When they conflict, pause. Get curious. Ask deeper questions. Because intuition isn't about making impulsive choices, it's about accessing a level of intelligence that goes beyond what your conscious mind can see. Practice this daily. Check in with your body before decisions. Notice the sensations. Name them. This feels tight. This feels open. This feels uncertain. Don't judge, just observe. Over time, you'll start recognizing your body's language. You'll know what expansion feels like versus anxiety. You'll know what true resistance feels like versus fear of the unknown. And that discernment, that's quantum intuition in action. But before we go further, I want to invite you into something real. If you've been feeling like something's clicking here, if a part of you is starting to recognize your own intuitive power, tap like if you just had an aha moment. Because like attracts like. Subscribe and hit that bell icon. Stay with the space, grow with us. Also, join our manifestation club on gogetter.au. Get inspired by reading real manifestation stories and share your own to inspire others. This is a community of people tuning into the same frequency, and your energy matters here. Alright, let's move into the third way to develop quantum intuition: clearing emotional interference. Here's the truth. Unprocessed emotions are like static on the line. They distort the intuitive signal. If you're carrying unresolved anger, grief, shame, or fear, those emotions create interference patterns in your field. They cloud your perception. They make it hard to tell the difference between intuition and projection. Think about it. Have you ever made a decision from a place of fear and later realized it was the wrong move? That wasn't intuition. That was fear masquerading as intuition. Or maybe you've ignored a red flag because you were so desperate for something to work out. That wasn't intuition either. That was hope overriding the signal. True intuition is clean, it's clear, it's neutral, it doesn't come with emotional charge, it just is. So if you want to develop quantum intuition, you need to clear the emotional backlog. You need to process what's been sitting in your system, undigested. And I'm not talking about years of therapy here, though that can be useful. I'm talking about creating space for your emotions to move through you instead of staying stuck. One of the most effective ways to do this is through emotional release practices. Journaling is powerful. Not the Dear Diary kind, the raw, unfiltered kind. Sit down with a blank page and write whatever comes up. Don't edit, don't censor, let it pour out. Anger, sadness, confusion, resentment, whatever's there. You're not trying to solve anything, you're just giving the emotion space to exist and move. Another method is somatic release. Your body holds emotional tension in specific areas: your jaw, your shoulders, your hips. When you consciously move, stretch, or shake those areas, you release stored emotion. It sounds simple, but it works. Put on music, move your body. Let yourself be awkward. Let yourself cry if tears come. Let yourself breathe deeply and sigh loudly. You're clearing the channel. And here's why this matters for intuition. When you clear emotional interference, your system becomes more sensitive. You start picking up on subtler signals. You feel the difference between fear and intuition. You sense when someone's energy is off, even if they are saying all the right things. You know when to move forward and when to wait, not because you figured it out logically, but because you feel the alignment or lack of it in your body. Emotional clarity creates intuitive clarity. They are inseparable. So if you've been ignoring your feelings, numbing them out, or pushing them down, start letting them move. You're not going to fall apart. You're going to clear the static. And on the other side of that release, intuition flows. Now, here's something I want you to try. In the comments, drop one word that captures the energy you're choosing to step into today. Maybe it's trust, maybe it's clarity. Maybe it's flow. Whatever it is, let that word be a declaration, a signal you're sending not just here, but into the quantum field itself. Your word matters. Alright, now we're getting to the fourth way to develop quantum intuition, and this is where everything connects. This is the advanced practice. This is where intuition becomes not just a tool for navigating life, but a direct channel for manifestation. It's called quantum field meditation, and it's about learning to consciously access the field to receive guidance, download information, and align with the version of reality you're calling in. Here's the foundation. In manifestation, we believe the quantum field is pure potential. It's the space where all possibilities exist simultaneously. Past, present, future, they're all there, not as fixed points, but as probabilities. And your consciousness, your awareness, is what collapses those probabilities into experience. When you enter the quantum field in a meditative state, you're stepping outside of linear time. You're accessing information that isn't bound by cause and effect. You're tuning into the frequency of what you're becoming before it shows up in physical form. And this is where intuition becomes manifestation. Because when you're in the field, you're not just receiving random hunches, you're receiving specific guidance about the path that leads to your desired outcome. You're sensing which actions are aligned, which opportunities are meant for you, which version of yourself you need to embody. It's like having a direct line to the intelligence of the universe. So how do you do this? Let me walk you through the protocol. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Start with the coherence breath we talked about earlier, breathing into your heart center, bringing up gratitude, calming your nervous system. Do this for 3 to 5 minutes until you feel settled. Once you're in coherence, shift your focus. Instead of focusing on your body, expand your awareness outward. Imagine your consciousness extending beyond your physical form, beyond the room, beyond the walls. You're not visualizing a place, you're sensing a space, a field of infinite potential, darkness, stillness, possibility. In manifestation, we call this the quantum field. Some people experience it as vast emptiness, others feel it as presence. There's no right way, just let yourself rest there, no trying. No doing, just being. As you rest in this space, set an intention, not a demand, an invitation. You might say internally, I'm open to guidance, show me what I need to know, reveal the path that's aligned with my highest outcome. Then let go, don't force anything. Don't wait for a lightning bolt of insight, just stay present in the field. What happens next varies. Some people receive visual imagery, symbols, scenes, flashes of future moments. Others get kinesthetic hits, sensations in the body that signal yes or no. Some hear words or phrases. Some just feel a deep knowing that settles into their system without language. Whatever arises, trust it. Don't analyze it in the moment, just receive it. You're accessing quantum information. Your intuition is translating the field into something your conscious mind can work with. Stay in this state for 10 to 15 minutes. When you're ready, slowly bring your awareness back to your body. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Take a deep breath. Open your eyes. Immediately write down anything that came through: images, feelings, words, insights. Don't judge it. Don't dismiss it as just your imagination. In quantum terms, imagination and intuition are intimately connected. Your imagination is how your mind interfaces with the field. So honor what came through. Now here's the key. Over time, this practice trains your system to access the field more easily. Your intuition becomes stronger, faster, clearer. You start receiving guidance not just in meditation, but throughout your day. You'll be walking down the street and suddenly know you need to call someone. You'll be scrolling online and feel drawn to a specific post that leads to an opportunity. You'll meet someone and instantly sense whether they're part of your path or a distraction. That's quantum intuition. That's you living in alignment with the field. And this connects directly to something I covered in another video about accessing the quantum field for manifestation. In that one, I went deep into how to not just receive guidance, but how to consciously collapse probability into form, how to use the field to magnetize your desires, how to shift timelines, how to embody the frequency of your fulfilled reality before it shows up. If you want to take your manifestation practice to the next level, that video is essential. It's already up, you can click and watch it now at the end of this one. Because developing intuition is step 1. Using that intuition to create your reality, that's the next level. Let me share something personal for a second. There was a time in my life when I ignored my intuition completely. I was so stuck in my head, so obsessed with doing things the right way that I couldn't hear the whispers anymore. I made decisions that looked good on paper but felt wrong in my body. I stayed in situations that drained me because I couldn't logically explain why I needed to leave. And every time I overrode that inner knowing, I paid for it. Not as punishment, just as consequence. Misalignment always has a cost. But then I started practicing what I'm sharing with you today. I learned to get coherent. I learned to listen to my body. I cleared the emotional baggage that was clouding my perception. And I started meditating in the quantum field, asking for guidance, and actually trusting what came through. And everything shifted. Opportunities appeared that I couldn't have planned for. People showed up at exactly the right time. Doors opened that I didn't even know existed. Not because I got lucky, because I was finally aligned. I was receiving the signal clearly, and I was acting on it. That's what I want for you. I want you to trust yourself again. I want you to remember that you have access to intelligence far beyond what your rational mind can compute. You're not separate from the quantum field, you're part of it. Your intuition is proof of that connection. And when you strengthen it, when you honor it, when you let it guide you, life stops feeling like a struggle and starts feeling like a dance. So make sure you share this video. For you, it might just be sharing, but for someone else, it could be the nudge they needed to start trusting themselves again. You might be the blessing in disguise they've been waiting for. Real ones share breakthroughs, not just memes. Pass this on if you're that kind of person. Let me give you one more practice before we close. This is something you can do right now, today, to start activating your quantum intuition. It's called the Intuition Check-in. Set a reminder on your phone to go off 3 times today: morning, afternoon, evening. When it goes off, stop what you're doing, take 3 deep breaths. Drop into your body. Ask yourself, what do I need to know right now? Then listen. Not with your ears, with your whole system. Notice what arises, a feeling, a thought, an image, a sense of direction. Write it down, don't judge it, just track it. Do this every day for a week. At the end of the week, look back at what came through. You'll start seeing patterns. You'll start recognizing your intuitive language. And you'll start trusting it more. Because intuition isn't something you develop once and you're done. It's a relationship. It's a practice. It's a conversation between you and the field that deepens over time. And listen, if you're someone who's been sensing things before they happen, if you've had gut feelings that turned out to be right, if you felt drawn to paths that didn't make logical sense but led you exactly where you needed to be, you're not weird. You're not imagining it. You're quantum sensitive. You're wired to receive information from the field, and now you have tools to strengthen that gift. Before we wrap, I want to hear from you. In the comments, share one moment when your intuition was right and you ignored it, or a moment when you trusted it and it changed everything. Let's normalize this. Let's talk about it openly, because the more we share, the more we validate this intelligence in each other. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. So comment down below, I read every single one. And if you're serious about taking this further, if you want to go beyond just developing intuition and actually use it to manifest the life you're meant to live, you need to watch the video I mentioned earlier. It's all about accessing the quantum field to connect with unlimited creative intelligence and manifestation power. It's the next step. It's where intuition becomes creation. Click and watch it now. It's already up on the end screen. Trust me, you'll want this piece of the puzzle. All right, beautiful soul, you made it to the end. That alone tells me you're ready. You're not just casually watching, you're actively choosing to step into your power. You're choosing to trust yourself. You're choosing to live intuitively. And that choice, that's the beginning of everything. Keep going. Keep practicing. Keep trusting. Your intuition is your superpower. Use it.